You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.
Senator Kamala Harris resigned her Senate seat representing the state of California. Of course, she's going to be inaugurated as vice president on Wednesday. She was elected in 2016, and of course, she's often talked about, what that meant. Her election was bittersweet because it was the same night that Trump beat Hillary Clinton. She released this video today to her supporters with regards to ending her tenure as a junior senator from the state of California.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to let you know how honored I've been to serve as a United States Senator from the place of my birth, the great state of California. Back when I was a sophomore at Howard University in 1984, I applied to be a Senate intern in the office of the then senior senator from California, Alan Cranston. And this kid from Oakland, I got chosen to be one of the interns. And who would have known, so many years later, I would actually run the office where I was once a student, watching the incredible work that a senator can do, and especially a senator from California. It has been such an honor to serve with a team that has worked so tirelessly, a state team that has been there, where we have received thousands of calls from our fellow Californians, constituents, concerned about whether they're getting their benefits as a veteran, concerned about FEMA protections during the wildfires, folks who have contacted us about helping them get support from various federal agencies when they needed help most. It has been an honor to serve when we have done the work in the United States Congress of fighting for climate protection and fighting knowing that California has been a leader and we can do what we've done in California as a nation. It's been an honor to serve with so many extraordinary American leaders in the Senate doing bipartisan work, whether it was work to end cash bail or the work to strengthen our national infrastructure around elections, or the work that we did to say that lynching should be a federal crime. These are some of the things that we have done over the course of my 4 years, and you gave me the honor of being able to serve. And so I just wanted to say thank you. Of course, I'm not saying goodbye. In many ways, I'm now saying hello as your vice president. But I do want to thank you for the honor of representing the place of my birth as a proud daughter of California. Thank you.
With her resignation today, there's no black women in the United States Senate. Joining us right now is Chris Scott, the political director, national political director for Collective PAC. Of course, their focus is to get more African Americans elected to office on a federal, state, and local level. Chris, this is only 2 black women have been in the United States Senate in history. Carol Mosley Braun representing Illinois for 1 term, and now, of course, Kamala Harris for the last 4 years. And the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, has already said he is going to appoint Alex Padilla to her position. There are a lot of folks who were pushing him to appoint an African-American woman, to whether it was Karen Bass or a host of others, to the position. And this is one of the issues that the Democratic Party is going to have to deal with, the fact that black women have been the backbone of the party, delivering votes, but not being able to enjoy the spoils of victory by having themselves represented in seats like United States Senate.
Correct. Well, one, Roland, thank you for having me tonight. It is very disappointing to see a United States Senate without a Black woman's voice there. That is not a United States Senate that is accurately reflective of our democracy. My hope is that we don't have to wait another 16 years before we see another Black woman go into the U.S. Senate. But it's bittersweet because we have Senator Harris moving on to be the vice president of this great nation, and we have Reverend Raphael Warnock, who's only the 11th Black senator ever to serve in the U.S. Senate. But again, to have a U.S. Senate without a Black woman, it's really unconscionable when it comes to me.
Of course, you had Erica Smith, who ran in the Democratic primary in North Carolina. Democrats got behind Cal Cunningham, who eventually lost to Tom Tillis in the general. In a couple of years, Richard Burr has announced he is not going to seek re-election, and so there's an opportunity there for a Black woman to run in North Carolina. That's the other issue as well, being able to get the support statewide. And so the pressure needs to also be on the Democratic Senate Campaign Committee, because they chose who they got behind in a lot of these races. They picked candidates in Texas, in North Carolina, in Kentucky. They got behind Amy McGrath instead of Charles Booker in Kentucky. She barely beat Booker in the primary, but she got crushed by Mitch McConnell in the general, and so many other states as well. And so that's the other issue as well. And so the work needs to be put in now, identifying Black women to seek statewide office, to seek these U.S. Senate races. So what is Collective PAC doing between now and when folks start filing, late this year, early next year, making announcements, but running for the U.S. Senate in 2022. We've got seats opening up, like I said, in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and others.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. So the Collective PAC is being very intentional on that. We do not want another 16-year gap. And so when we're looking at these 2022 races, I believe, as you mentioned, we have races North Carolina, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, I believe, Florida as well, Kentucky. We want to see a Black woman as the nominee, regardless of what the DSCC is going to do. I think what we have seen after this year is that it's really a dawn of the Black candidate when it comes to the United States Senate. And Black candidates are now unafraid and unapologetic to step forward and say, hey, I'm good enough to run for this seat, and I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to wait for you to tell me that it's okay. But you can trust that the Collective PAC will be unapologetically working to make sure that we find at least one Black woman to not only win the nomination, but be elected to the United States Senate by November of 2022.
All right, Chris Scott with the Collective PAC. We really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Roland.
This really is a major issue, Avis, because it comes down to support. It comes down to being selected. It comes down to being able to raise the money. All of those are factors when it comes to running for statewide office. And Democrats must do a much better job of backing Black women when they're seeking these statewide positions.
You're exactly right. And when you look at specifically the sister who was running for Senate there, state senator, who was very popular in the state. In fact, she was winning all of the statewide polls leading up to and sort of early on in the primary time, beating the person, quite frankly, that the DSCC got behind and flooded with money. And also, I would have to say, seemed to be very involved with also trying to push her out of specific media opportunities that would help to spread the word beyond North Carolina in terms of helping her be able to attract alternative forms of funding. And so they were very active, I would have to say, in crushing her ability to really run a fair campaign, even though she had a very strong base. This needs to show a lesson to the Democratic Party, that along with the stellar performance of Black women in terms of the presidential election and the latest runoff, that we have the ability to win elections. It makes me think, if she had been on that ballot in North Carolina, what would have happened instead? We saw the energy among Black voters when they have people on the ballot that they're excited about, such as what just happened in Georgia. By having this, other alternative on the ballot, which ultimately ended up getting embroiled in a scandal there towards the end of the election, it really undermined the ability of Democrats to be able to come away with a more decisive victory with regards to having a straight-up majority, full majority in the Senate, rather than now being 50-50 plus VP.
Julian, money, money, money. That's what it comes down when you're running for a U.S. Senate race. And so what it means is if Collective PAC or others are identifying black women who want to run for a Senate race, it's important for them to come out of the gate being able to raise $1 million, $2 million, $3 million to show they have that capacity, because that's really what folks look to as to whether or not you can run for office. But it's not always about money. It's also how can you galvanize voters. Amy McGrath raised a whole bunch of money against Mitch McConnell, and she got crushed. Gideon raised a whole bunch of money against Susan Collins, and she got crushed. Cal Cunningham, same thing. So you better be able to excite voters.
You know, Roland, it's a combination of the money and the enthusiasm. Emily's List, a white woman-run pro-life PAC, Emily's List says that early money is like yeast. And it means that the earlier the money comes in, the more likely it is to make an impact. And I think that the Collective PAC is on the right track with that, to sort of say, let's get the money in early. But the money, you know, it's not that ain't nothing going on but the rent. It's like the rent and the enthusiasm. And there has to be an enthusiasm for candidates. And I think, you know, Avis is right about the North Carolina race. And here's where much of this has to lay, is on the Democratic Party, who has never fully valued the impact of African-American women. Oh, we're good enough to answer the phones. We're good enough to go to the polls. We're good enough to knock on doors, but we're not good enough to be elected. Stacey Abrams would be governor of Georgia if the Democratic Party had put the money behind her that they should have. We can look at any number of other races. When Carol Moseley Braun ran first for Senate, the Democratic Party looked sideways at her. They gave her the side eye, and she prevailed anyway. What we need to have folks understand is that Black women are a force, but we're now at a place where we'll enforce our power and don't play us. Don't make us the sideline, when we should be, and we have been the front line. Biden wouldn't be there if it weren't for Black women. And let's just call the roll. Warnock, Ossoff, Black women. And so why does the party continue to sideline us? That's the question, Roland.
Correction here. You said Emily's List is a pro-life group. No, they're a pro-choice group. So just want to go ahead and correct that. Mustafa. It's all good. It's all good. I got it. That's what I'm here. That's what I do. Mustafa, again, right now, this is our, of course, the inauguration is on Wednesday, but the whole focus really should be on preparing folks for 2022. Getting ready to run, identifying folks right now, beginning to build their profile up, beginning to introduce them to voters. That's what it boils down to get ready for 2022. Because, look, a year from now, we're going to be getting ready for the primaries in a lot of these states.
Yeah, we've got to continue to build the bridges to get folks, you know, from the grassroots and those who inspire folks and make folks want to get engaged and come out and be supportive, and then get them into those positions, get the training that they might need, and then get the infrastructure underneath of them, because we know other candidates will have that infrastructure. We also just got to make sure that brothers are willing to support sisters, both in showing up, not just with your vote, but also with the dollars that are in your pocket, and pushing our organizations to be more supportive also. I don't want to take away anything from the organizations who have traditionally and historically been supportive, but we got to make sure that other organizations also understand the value of having Black women in offices at the highest level. And as we begin to have more and more in both the House and the Senate, then we can also push more to make sure they're also on the Supreme Court. So we have to understand this holistic strategy of making sure that we are not undervaluing ourselves and making sure that we are showing honor and respect to those sisters who continue to stand up so much for us.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.
Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.